a Muslim with a woo-woo Christian in a biracial marriage. They are gym owners with tips on wellness, mindset, creating inner peace, and happiness despite differences. You're listening to the Clem and Alfred Unequally Yoked podcast. Hey, it's Clem.
And Alfred.
We're talking about what if you want to change your lifestyle, be healthier, happier, more positive, but your partner or spouse isn't on board.
What do you do? How do you do it?
We've had many clients have to go through this journey and deal with the emotional anguish or the emotional sadness of doing this. And I try to relate, but we don't, because we're already so different. Albert's Muslim, I'm Christian, I'm vegan, he eats meat. So it's, I did stop drinking because Alfred had to stop drinking. And I can if I wanted to. There's no rule for Christians not to drink, but it's not conducive to a positive lifestyle for me. I'd rather eat my calories than drink it. Or eat my sugar. I can't have both. But I think we make it.
Can.
Well, I can, but I don't want to because there's a certain look and health that I prefer. And so drinking doesn't work for me. But if I was drinking, I don't think that would be, we would have to do a workaround.
Yeah. We'd make it work though.
Yeah.
We'd make it work. We'd work it around.
Workaround.
I think that we're all different. To want to do everything exactly the same is going to make it very uncomfortable for both parties. So there's certain things that we do together.
Yeah.
That we enjoy doing, and then there's a lot of stuff that we do not do together.
Like fishing.
At all. She does not go fishing. She does not go to the gym with me, and those are two of like the primary things that I do. She's not going to sit down and eat a piece of chicken with me.
No.
So when I cook, I have to cook the meat meal and then also make the vegan meal.
That's a good tip for those people who are like, hey, I still want to be married to this person. I don't want to change so much drastically, because I think that's that fear of, if I change so much, then we'll have to break up because we're not the, one body that we were taught we become when we become married. When we get married, we're taught, oh, we're one body. And so if I'm so different from that body, then we have to break up. And I think that's the biggest fear of people, is having to lose friends, lose spouse, because you become a different person.
Could make it difficult.
Yeah. I think if you're taking care of yourself, and this is, let's say you have diabetes, you have heart disease. I couldn't imagine Alfred saying, well, nope, we're gonna continue drinking and smoking and living an unhealthy lifestyle because, that we're not changing. I'm not changing for anybody. Men say that a lot. I'm not changing for anybody.
I'm sticking to my guns.
Yes.
And you're gonna die because we're gonna drink.
Right. So, but there's workarounds.
There's always a workaround.
There's a workaround. Like if you go out to hang out with your friends and family, Super Bowl, whatever, and the drinking thing is the biggest thing, I think, when it comes to our clients who they want to get ready for a show. They want to get this healthy lifestyle. They've got health issues, and there's a lot of things that need to get cleaned up, and the friends and the family are used to celebrating or just hanging out in a certain way. Is you could have a sparkling water that looks like gin and tonic or whatever, and put a lot of lemon in there and just keep a drink in your hand so nobody bothers you. But I've had clients who have had friends just continually like push and push, call them square, call them, you know, live it up sometime. It's okay to live it up sometime is normally the comment.
Well, you have to ask yourself when you're getting that type of pressure, is that person really a true friend or not? Because if you decide that, hey, I want to do this to better myself, to better my life,
most
to better
friends are gonna
my relationships,
want you to do that.
And then you have a friend they may start off that way, but then if they, oh, okay, well, wait a minute, you're serious. They say, oh, wait, they're serious about this. They're really not going to do it. I think it all, the bottom line is, or all boils down to, is support.
Yeah.
What helps us is Clemence does what she does, and I support it.
I don't eat meat.
I support it. She goes to church.
I don't go to the mosque.
I went to church with her. You have to, if you support the person, that's the number one thing you should look for. You're going through the journey. You're going to change things up. Don't ask them to do it. I mean, you can ask them to do it with you. If they hem and haw, you say, hey, you know what? Your timing is not right, but may I have your support? And they say yes.
That's a good conversation to have.
They should say yes. And after it doesn't stop there, you have to be very clear in what you want your support to be.
So let's go back to the drinking thing. We had a client who, you know, police officer, their car shows. The culture is, you know, beer and lots of beers, like lots of cans. So one of our clients emptied out the cans and put water in it. And so it looked like, I mean, she just didn't want to hear the mouth, the criticism. It almost turns into bullying, I think. I think when you just keep going at somebody and trying to make them do your way and make them see, you know, this is the way it's done, I think it's borderline bullying to me.
Could be.
But, you know, it has to be like, what is your firm belief on who you are? There's issues, I think, for us too, is that our security, our confidence, we need to build that up, our self-love and our self-care, we need to build that up, make that a priority. But let's go back to friends. Like you said, that are they true friends? Now, I know there's going to be people listening to this and they're saying, but they are true friends. They probably are true friends, but if you have that conversation, you say, hey, you know, my arthritis, my bones, my joints, my heart, my lung, you know, I don't feel confident or happy being in this health or body that I'm in. I really would love to still spend time with you, go out and hang out, but I will be making different choices. Can you be okay with that? Having that conversation and being confident enough to have it. But then also remember, when people are pushing their agenda on you, it's not because they are not a true friend, is that they're dealing also with their own self-insecurities of, oh no, she's gonna leave me because she's gonna look better than me or be healthier than me, or she's gonna be so different and our lives together and our bond is going to change. So there's that insecurity of that. And then the second one is they think that they'll have to change and they're not ready to. And that's the biggest one, is people will be challenged to see, people feel uncomfortable when they see that the better, what they really want inside can happen, and they see their friends doing it. And it's hard because they're not ready, or they don't believe in themselves yet to be able to do it for themselves. And so there's that fear of loss of a friend, and then also a fear of having to make the change that they know that they want, but they're not ready to. Those are the two big things. So they might still be your friend.
Maybe.
Just challenging for them.
Maybe they'll be your selfish friend who's thinking about themselves versus.
You're right. They are thinking about themselves in that instance.
I'd like to say my true friends and my true friends know who they are. If I need something, they will support. If they see me doing something, they support. They don't come behind, you know, And I'll just go ahead and put it on it because Juge don't care. Juge came at me. He always tried to get me to drink every time.
I know, every time.
Every time I see him, he's like,
Thanksgiving.
drink. And yes, he's a true friend. He's a brother. But there's some other stuff going on there. So, you know, I don't want to say they're not. I don't want to say they're not a friend.
Insecurities. It always goes back to that.
But and what Clements is saying, it can feel like it can feel like bullying if you allow it to be that.
So insistent.
Yes. I don't
drink. Come on, Al, drink.
I get it all the time. I don't allow myself to be bullied, so a bully they can't live in my space because it doesn't work.
Eventually, you can nicely, kindly say,
and that's what you have to do.
And stand up for yourself and say, no, thank you.
This is not going to happen. And it takes a while for the client, for our clients to get to that point. I've had a lot of practice.
Yeah, we've had a lot of.
You're not going to come out the gates and be like, look, no, don't do that. You might just have the drink, and we know that you may either have the drink, the burger, or the fries. It's not just alcohol. I mean, but that's a big one. The wine is so glorified now. It's like if you don't drink wine before you go to bed,
then you're kind of
missing out. Yeah. What are you doing? How do you sleep? How do you handle your kids without a glass of wine? I don't know.
But what if? Okay, so let's go through kind of the steps of what if someone is being insistent and persistent on their insistency. Is first the no thank you, and then of course they're gonna do it again. Come on, Al, you can have just one. Do it for me, old time's sake. and then you go to number 2. Nah, man, it's okay. I haven't done it in a long time. I don't do that anymore. So number 3 is just, nah, let's hang out. And what Alfred normally does is he just changes the subject. And I've seen him try to change the subject like 3 times. And the insistent person just keeps trying. But eventually they give up. So, and in the end, if all the no thank you, the nah man, that's okay, not for me right now, that's number 2. And then number 3, like, hey, dude, stop asking me. I'm not gonna say yes. If those 3 don't work, the more firmer that you get, then you're gonna have to take the 4th step, is just to have a side talk, heart to heart, like, hey, you know, I used to be an alcoholic, this is not healthy for my family, or whatever. Like, we forget that there are alcoholics that are trying to be dry, and you don't know, if you haven't seen that person in 10, 15 years, what they've, you know, especially we've moved out of California, so our friends don't know half the things that we've been through.
Assume.
Oh my gosh. Take a break. Do we say that?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
So have that heart-to-heart talk. But what if it's a spouse and you feel like, I really want to change our life? Because I mean, truth be told, it does involve the other person. When you live together, you have the same kitchen, you have the same fridge. How do you handle trying to be one with your spouse? Because that's what we were told. And still make the right healthy choices for you and be motivated to work out. A lot of people say, oh, you know what, my spouse doesn't want to work out.
I think you handle it up front. In order to be successful at this, you have to handle it up front. You got to have a conversation. You got to sit down with the person, let them know exactly what you're doing, and then ask for their support. Say,
yeah.
Do you support this? This is the reason why I'm doing it. Do you support this lifestyle? Do you support me going to the gym 3-4 times a week? Do you support me eating clean and eating healthy? And I'm gonna be shying away from the wine and the drink and whatnot.
I'll have tea. Workaround.
Will you be okay with that? Will that work? Does that work for you? And then they're hopefully they say yes, or maybe they say no. But if they say yes, then you say, hey, you know, it's gonna be a process. We're gonna go through this and that. You know, you want to lay it out, map it out, what your type of support You know,
Yeah.
I need support. This is the type of support I need from you.
But don't make the other person change. That's the biggest
Well, there's
thing.
certain things they could do. I have clients who have their husbands keep their cookies in the car versus putting them inside the house.
Right. If that's
Little
an
things like
issue
that.
for you. Yeah.
With the drink, if you don't want to drink, you can ask them to, you know, you probably don't want them to keep the drink in the car because they might drink and drive.
But you can have tea while they have wine. So if you have, I think when it comes down to it is losing the bond.
But some people can't, they don't want to actually, for
Be
them.
around. Oh.
See, for us, it's different. My wife, she'll eat chips, popcorn, we'll go have ice cream, donut, and whatever. I'm in the middle of prep. I have a show in 3 weeks.
And I'm like, let's go have ice cream. And he comes with me.
I'll go with her and I'll just sit there and I'll be like, I'm going to get mine in 3 weeks. I'd say 95% of the people out there, they would just lose it. They'd be like, well, since she's having it, I'm going to have it. In my opinion, that is the person who is going through their journey, their fitness.
That's their own journey.
That's their problem. Like you have to work on that on your own. But if you need support in the beginning where it's like, well, maybe we won't frequent these places together because it could happen. It could come up. Maybe in the beginning while you're working on getting stronger for the first 30 days, but you don't go to, or you're not going to the bar. You're not going to the pizza shack. You know, you're not going to go out and have your favorite Italian pastas.
For the beginning.
But what I'm getting at is you have to come up with other stuff that you guys do together. Don't just cut it all out and be sitting there watching the game, twiddling your thumb.
Yeah, because I think it comes down to it's the bonding that you're missing, the bond. There was this video that I watched of this couple. They're older couple, and one of the wife, she got sick at some point. I don't know if she got sick, but the husband's definitely sick because he takes a whole table full of pills and a counter full of pills. But she decided that she wanted to grow all her food, and everything she eats comes from their garden. And so she's in the garden every day, outside, and she grows all of their food. She doesn't eat meat. She's vegan. And everything gets composted back into the soil, so the soil has living organisms which are necessary for, make sure you eat food from the dirt, guys, because there's living organisms that need to be in the biosphere of your stomach. So she grows everything from her own dirt, from her own ground, and he's like, no, I don't, that's just not for me. And they're still together and they still love each other. He does comment that when they do go out in public, she looks like everybody thinks that she's his daughter because she now looks 20 years younger than him. Because over time, he's just now aged at a really, well, maybe a normal American rate, but normal American rate, meaning eating the junk food, eating the burgers, eating the pizzas, and not having the healthy lifestyle and having a whole pharmacy full of drugs that he has to take every single day. And she doesn't have to take anything. All her medicine comes from her garden. So, but they still love each other and they still hang out. And she looks hot though. She looks like she's 40, but they're really in their 60s. I mean, her body's banging and she looks like...
That's not going to happen to me.
And he has, he's really out of shape, and he has the gray hair, and her hair didn't turn gray as fast as his did. So she does look like his daughter. And they do get that. I thought that was super funny.
So bottom line is, it's your choices.
Yeah, and just be super secure about I think that's the biggest issue is you don't have to lose relationships because you're different. I've had to lose relationships because they left me thinking now I do bodybuilding. And we used to have running as our bond, but I'm like, we can still go have tea and go for a walk. We can still do other things. There's lots of other things besides me being a marathon runner. That was not my identity. And I think, when you change your activities, people think that changes your identity, and that's not true. So be secure in who you are as a person, as opposed to creating your identity around your activity, and that'll help keep relationships alive.
So get support.
Yeah.
Ask for support. clearly define what your support will look like, and then you have to be comfortable inside your own self, which is, I'd say both of them are tough, because it's kind of hard for a lot of people to ask for support.
Because of the insecurity of feeling of different. Yeah. So
when Clemence decided that she wasn't gonna, like, it was one thing to be vegetarian because she still ate eggs, or she was a pescatarian. She ate eggs and she ate fish, and that's primarily what I eat. But then when she went vegan, I'm like, I'm not doing that. But over the course of time, and just watching, and she's watching the documentary, I'm watching the documentary, I'm thinking, well, you know, maybe I should try it. So I did it for 1.5 years. And then now we just watched a new movie called The Game Changers.
So good.
Where there was 11 of the Tennessee Titans who were on a vegan, plant-based diet. And they had an incredible season. These athletes, the testimonials from the athletes was
the blood work,
just incredible.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking, you know, I went from I'm never gonna do that to on the weekends, or especially when I'm not in prep, we're always out trying to find, you know, who's doing it the best with just plants. So we go to different restaurants. And then now I'm at the point where I'm pretty much, I'm going to commit to 5 days a week vegan, and then I'll eat meat on the weekend to do my part.
But I didn't push him to do it.
No, it was...
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't push me to go to the mosque. He didn't push me to work out. He doesn't make side comments saying, are you going to work out today because you're looking a little fluffy? He doesn't say stuff like that, which is such a blessing.
Don't stay married for 21 years saying crap like that. It's their journey. You love them for
it's
who
my
they
own
are.
journey.
It is what it is.
And you allow
might
the
want
person
them to go do a couple squats, but you ain't gonna say it. I'm squatting. How come you don't squat? You see?
How about some hip thrusters?
Yeah, that's not the conversation.
How about that butt lifted a little bit?
It's better to pull than...
Or it's just better to stay in your own lane and accept people for who they are and have grace. And let them live their life. And if they become inspired by your actions, because you are gonna grow happier, healthier, more light, you're going to emit more energy, you're going to be more attractive because now you're confident. Now you care about yourself. Now you're taking care of yourself. Now you actually love yourself. So the attraction is there, and that inspires so many of your friends. It'll inspire your spouse. It doesn't have to be, if they don't do it, I can't do it. That's totally, you were born alone, you're gonna go out alone, and this life on this earth is this short. So you've got to go for your heart's desires. If you deny the desires of your heart, then you're gonna go out feeling really remorseful,
miserable.
Yeah,
you're gonna
unfulfilled.
Be miserable. There's something out there you want to do, you do it. If you want to get healthy, you want to get clean, do it. You don't have to do it along with I say it probably would be better to do it along with your spouse, but you can't put your dreams on hold.
Right.
Eventually, they may follow suit. Studies have shown that if you're doing something that is positive, and someone is really close to you, you will become the sum of your 5 closest friends. So if you and a few other friends are doing X, Y, and Z, and your spouse or significant other is hanging and really close to you guys, eventually you may rub off on them. So just do you.
Yeah.
Get well.
Meditation really helps because you get centered within yourself and find the confidence in yourself too.
If you need help or support, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. That's what we are here for. I'm not going to say experts, but we're kind of good. We had a lot of practice.
And here's another tip. Find a group of other people who do what you want to do. Because if you're not feeling that kinship or that tribe feeling at home because it's so different, you're too different, then find a tribe that does do what you do. And you won't feel that, you know, if you're not strong enough yet, secure enough yet on your own, feeling like I can be different in a sea of lots of people who are the same, then find your same people. And that'll help build up your confidence. All right, that is our episode for this week. Please do share the episode.
Share it.
I'm so sure there's lots of people who are feeling this way and would love to have this information. So share Clem and Alfred Unequally Yoked, and if you are wanting more episodes more frequently, go check out Slay and Shine, Self-Care and Empowerment. That's my solo podcast.
And my solo podcast is Alfred Goes Fishing.
No, it's not. He doesn't have that.
Hey, on the real though, if you are struggling with finding a tribe, look into what we have to offer. We are here to help and support you.
Oh yeah, on our app, online, and in person.
In person, on the app, on the text message. I'm not putting my phone number on here. But you can reach out through the our website.
All right. Have a great week, guys.